It is the last day of the garage cleanout challenge. So we are on, I don't even know what it, day 19 of 25 for Declutter My Whole Home for the holidays. It's day 4 of the garage. There's still a lot left to do, but I'm hopeful we can get it done. I have a helper out here today. I don't know if you can see her back there. Oh, she put her head down. But that is Jasmine, our long-term foster cat. She belongs to my daughter's best friend. So she's just hanging out here for a while and we adore her. She's just checking out my progress, seeing if there's any mice or anything out here. So we're just gonna let her be. So just a quick reminder of where we started on Monday. If you've been following along with the series, you know this is messy. It is everywhere. Systems are broken. Things aren't getting put away. Things are just getting thrown out here. I love walking out to the garage now and seeing the 3 days worth of progress and just feeling a weight lifted off of my shoulders. I did not realize how much this garage was stressing me out until I started working on it. So can't wait to finish today. And here we are today. So on day 1, we conquered this area. And then I set up this table with things for my husband to go through. We went through it last night, but these are things we need to take care of, things that I forgot to ask my son about, more things I have to take care of. So this will be taken care of today. This has to get stored out here. This is moving elsewhere because we're going to try to sell that bed. We don't need it anymore. Rest of zone 1 was done. Items to get rid of. And then zone 2 was this and this workbench, which looks so much better. These are things I need to put away and take care of. And then yesterday we did zone 3, which was back here, and that looks so much better. And then today is zone 4, which I think it looks worse than it actually is. A lot of this is just containers that need to be gone through. And then we're going to go through a lot of stuff up here, get rid of a lot of that, reorganize some of it. And then we've got my donations. And then we also have to finish up here. And then make sure I tackle the top of the freezer as well. So enough talking, let's get to work. Because over here is just so messy, I'm just starting out really easy. Anything that I know that we are getting rid of, I am just pulling that out immediately. It's going to give me just a really good boost to start seeing some empty space and seeing some progress being done, because honestly, seeing all these containers here, I really don't know where to start. I have festival tent things everywhere from my art booths. I swear, I really do have a hoarding problem when it comes to containers. People laugh at me, but I really do hoard them. I love them, I collect them, and I do not part with them unless they break. So today is going to be a really big challenge for me when it comes to getting rid of these containers. Something I'm really going to implement is the container method. I'm going to give myself the 4 white cubes that are under the bottom shelf, and I'm going to give myself part of a shelf. And that is it. If the containers don't fit, they need to go. And the irony is not lost on me that I'm using the container method to deal with my containers. Funny pun. I'm so funny. I know I'm really not, but just trying to move along. I need to figure out a way to store our fishing poles better. I pulled out the organizers that I found yesterday, and I don't think they're going to work. So I set the fishing poles aside for now. We'll figure that out later. I'm also getting rid of our bird feeders, because when we have put out our bird feeders, we have gotten large rodents. I'm going to just leave it at that. A couple doors down, they have a rodent problem, and I don't want them to continue venturing over here. So unfortunately, we love to watch the birds, but bird feeders are not in the cards at this point in time. I'll get new ones later if the situation ever improves, but for now, no thank you. All right, just continuing to move along that top shelf. Well, not the top shelf. Up there is just containers that I'm going to use when we redo our sunroom, because I think the vintage wooden Coca-Cola boxes are just really cute and make really cute storage out there. And then just extra flooring from when we redid our floor in our nook area. When we took the kitchen out, put in a nook area. So if we ever have any more floor issues, we're just going to use that because we know it matches and just continuing to go on and just remove anything I know we are decluttering. It's really nice to have a spot for Jasmine's carrier. Finally, she's been here for over a year, and I actually have a spot off the floor for her carrier. I'm going through the pots right now. If you've been following along with any of my videos, you know I am a plant mom. Love to have extra pots around. But this big teal one, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. All of the pots that I use are white and gray, so I'm not even sure how this one came to live in my home. But I actually ended up washing it out, and it's my blanket holder in my sunroom now. When we redo the sunroom, we're going to really put a lot more plants in there. So I think it's kind of cute using a big pot, like a plant pot, for holding the blankets, and all of them fit. And there's room for more. Not that I need any more blankets. If you know, you know. Cozy is my love language. I love blankets. I can never have too many of them. So just nice knowing that there's room to grow. Not that we have to grow it, but I just think it's a really cute idea, and it matches my color theme out there, which extra bonus. So just continuing to try to make progress. I am jumping around a lot, which honestly was driving me nuts in the moment, but because so many things were just buried, I did not know what to do. I was looking for easy, and sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and just totally just do whatever just makes sense to do next. So actually going through the containers, the struggle was real, but I was really honest with myself and just knowing I'm not going to use these bright colored containers. I'm going to use the clear ones. I'm going to use the gray ones. I am not going to use the bright red ones or the blue ones. And just when you really ask yourself, am I actually ever going to use this? Yeah, and when you're honest with yourself about that, it makes it easier to declutter. So going through those containers, getting overwhelmed again, just not knowing what to do next. The cats kept coming out to say hi, but as soon as I would move, they'd get really scared because I was tearing apart their playground. How dare I? So just moving these containers out made logical sense to go, like, what to do next, just to give myself some more space to work. I was actually putting everything in my mudroom. I did not get footage of that, but it was a disaster. It took me over an hour to clean it out later. Could I have taken care of everything as I was moving it out? Yes, but honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do with everything. Was I going to donate it? Was I going to try to sell some of the stuff? I didn't know in the moment. So just having it be in a different spot where I could come back later when I was a little bit more rested to just make all those decisions worked for me. And I'm actually using this container, which I've never liked because I don't like the latch, like how it closes. I'm going to use that for my potting soil. It's going to make it really easy to open to get soil when I have to repot anything or plant a pot propagation. And it fit that entire bag of soil, which is exciting that it's big enough for that. And now whenever I get soil, I can just dump it in here, and now I have like 4 bags everywhere in here. So I'm hoping that that will be a good system that'll work for me later. Finding some more containers I want to keep, making a pile just so I know, like, later when I'm going through it, am I going to be able to fit everything that I want to keep in the area I've designated? I was finding some containers from my pantry before I redid it, and I was going to donate them, but then I remembered my daughter is getting an apartment in June. She might really like these, so I put them in the kitchen to wash them out, let her know that I have them for her for whenever she's home, wants to look at them. And if she doesn't want them, I'll just donate them. No hard feelings. Getting rid of this bookcase. I don't use it for my festivals anymore. And honestly, I bought it used with the top shelf missing, so I know I'm never going to use it here. So I'm going to just donate that. And then I really, really do not want to do my tents. They did not get put away properly after my son's graduation party. That's a long story, and I'm really avoiding it. You can see that, like, I know that that's the next step, but I just don't want to do it. It is much easier to do when there's 2 people, but I know that if I just set the stuff to the side to do it later, I'm not going to do it later, and any time that I walk into my garage, it's going to stress me out. Now, I did end up putting the box spring in front of this area, so I wouldn't have seen it, but I would have known that it was not taken care of properly. I usually store my tents with the top on them just for ease of like setting them up, and tearing them down is just one less thing I have to do. But when my son had his grad party, I usually take both tents and set them up outside the pavilion. That's what we did for my daughter's graduation party, but his party, there was like severe thunderstorm warnings, potential for a tornado, so I did not put the tops on the tent. I just set the tent up inside the pavilion as best as I could, just to hang like his posters and pictures and things from. So it worked out well, surprisingly well. And actually, we avoided all of the bad weather. Everybody who came to our party said other parties they went to that day had horrible weather. We were able to enjoy the playground and like the baseball field and everything. So we were very blessed. We were very lucky, but I just never took the time to put everything away properly, totally kicking myself. And then my husband makes this look so easy when he puts things away. It just like goes on like butter. And then I sit here and the struggle is real when I try to do it myself, but I got it done. And then outside of the camera field, I'm like all of the tent sides, trying to figure out which tent they belong to. I do just kind of shove them in the pockets or whatever. They do like stay together really well. I'm not worried about damage or anything. So that just makes my life easier. If I can just kind of throw things into a bin or just, shove it into a pocket, I'm more likely to put things away properly, or even just put things away in general. So I need it to be really easy, which is why I love using bins. That originally was something that I'm like, I don't organize well because I just throw things in bins. But if you have ever heard of Cass from Clutterbug, I highly recommend taking the Clutterbug quiz. It'll tell you your organizing style, whether you're visual, like you like to see everything out, or if you want things hidden, or if you're a micro organizer or a macro organizer. I like my things hidden, and I want to just throw things in bins. I did not realize that was okay until I took that quiz, and now I'm like, oh, I don't feel guilty when I just throw things in bins for later. Like, granted, like each bin is like organized or like has like a theme, to it. So like, when I throw like, oh, my pot containers, okay, I just know this bin has all my containers for, my plants in here. I don't have to put them away like specifically. But probably doesn't make sense. But I am a ladybug. I like my things hidden. I like it in bins and baskets. And if you were to take the quiz, you could be a butterfly, a bee, a cricket, or a ladybug. And it is actually a tool that I use when I meet with my clients now that I'm starting my own decluttering and organizing business. And it really helps me know the best way to help others organize their things. So I love that tool. It's amazing. If you want to learn more, it's the Clutterbug quiz. All right, back there seems to be done. So we're moving back over to the tool bench just to see the best way to continue to organize things and just putting things away that my husband went through that he wanted to keep. I did on zone 2, so day 2, I did worry a lot about having to redo a lot of my organizing things that I put over here. And honestly, I'm not mad about it, redoing some of the stuff today, just because things were already grouped together and I could see if it works, if it doesn't work. Just knowing more about talking to my husband about things, and just more I thought about it. I'm like, okay, I know that this gray drawer unit is wonderful. This is not going to work for us because there's just a better option. So I actually found some little containers, like little index card containers, and a pencil box. So all of the staples, no, not the staples, the nails for like the pin nailer, I had 2 containers. I had 2 different sizes of those. They fit in those really well. In the pencil box, I put the oscillating saw blades and the jigsaw blades in there. Just that way it's not poking through a bag, and it's just really easy for my husband to grab whatever container he needs and then use it and just put it back. I did put some things, I did end up putting some things into labeled storage bags. But like the router stuff has a bin now, so it's not just sitting on top of like the table router. I did put the pin nailer, heat gun, and the staple gun into a bigger container, just so like the small containers with like the staples and pin nails and all of that could fit better. and then ended up going back and redoing an organizing system that I just did. So the bin that, like the heat gun and that stuff had been in, I ended up putting all of the gutter parts that my husband wanted kept in there. It was just a little bit smaller, less space on the shelf, and it just protected like the replacement glass for our outdoor windows a little bit better, so I'm not super worried about those breaking. But just feeling so much better in this space. And just looking around, is there anything else I can change really quick, or am I feeling like we're in a good spot? I did find a few things that I do need my husband to talk about, but it's like 3 little things, which is really not bad compared to like the piles of things I've been dealing with the past few days. So I think he's going to be really happy about that. And then just moving to the very last area in the garage, which is the top of the freezer and next to the freezer. I'm not super tall, so I had to use the broom to get the stuff down here. But there's just a lot of bags up here that I know like we don't use and should have thrown out before. And once everything was gone through, I just put everything away. It feels so much neater up there. Then I tackled the side of the freezer, which I had been dreading just because I don't know where the stuff was supposed to live. But now that other things in the garage have homes, it was really easy to put this stuff away. Like, oh, this stuff goes with the gardening. This stuff goes over here with the other tools just like it. So this area was not as stressful as I thought it would be, just because I already knew where everything lived, because I had those zones already set up. I put the table away because this is all I have for my husband to tell me what to do with. I had originally put these in the gray multi-drawer unit, but ended up not needing that. So I just need to know where he wants these to live, but not bad for today. Are you ready for the reveal? I don't think you're ready. I'm so excited. Look how I'm really proud of me. I usually give up day 2, day 3 of doing this garage, but I pushed through. It looks so good. I know I'm going to mention in the end of the video that, I'll let you know how my husband reacted, but of course I'm editing Shauna in the future. So, he loves it. He is so happy. He's like, okay, what project can I work on now? So he's blown away with like how good it looks. I'm so thankful for his support and for his willingness to declutter with things as well. It has been a long journey for us to be able to declutter anything out here. So I'm really proud of both of us. And I ended up realizing that when I did that footage, I hadn't labeled things, so I ended up coming back and like labeling everything. So here's just a quick glimpse of what it looks like with everything labeled, but it looks so good. I am so tired. 4 days of this was a lot. But shout out to past Shauna for scheduling a nice, light, easy task for tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that, but I can't believe I finished this. It looks so good. I should have done this earlier. I don't think if I had done this earlier, I would have been as ruthless going through everything. So if my husband was a different man, I would totally record his reaction when he gets home from work today, but he is not, and that is okay. So he's a very private man, which I love that about him. So I'll let you know tomorrow what he thought. But yeah, I'm going to call this a very, very huge success. I hope you enjoyed this 4-part mini-series in the Decluttering the Home for the Holidays challenge. So yeah, I'm going to go shower and nap because I'm so tired. I'm going to ignore the mudroom. It is full of all the containers and things, but I can deal with that in a little bit. I need to rest first. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me as I cleaned out this garage. I'll see you next time. Bye.